Alright, if you're just watching on YouTube, we're gonna be reacting to Shigaraki versus Mahito Death Battle. I started watching this other day on stream, but we had technical difficulties because it did storm in Arlington, Texas, which is where I reside. Probably shouldn't tell you guys that. But first initial thoughts. I got Mahito. I mean, not Mahito. I got Shigaraki washing. Uh, I personally think that a lot of JJK characters would not be very strong outside of their own verse. Cancel me if you want to. Sorry to the JJK fans if anybody is watching this. Um, but yeah, I just think Shigaraki. I am biased though. I'm a huge My Hero fan. I'm very biased. But I overall just think Shigaraki has this one in the bag. I think that they're gonna drag it a bit, but I think if they were to actually fight, it'll be no diff for Shigaraki. I think Death Battle's gonna do their thing to make the fight as interesting as possible. So they're gonna drag it a bit. Now, don't get me wrong, Mahito is no scrub, but Shiggy, man, Shiggy, we love Shiggy.
I'm Boomstick, and it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Tenko Shimura was just a sweet, shy boy who loved superheroes.
But sometimes the hand of fate can't abide sweet shy boys.
Ruthlessly beaten and abused by his hero-hating father, Tenko pushed beyond his emotional limits until he activated his inherent superpower, or quirk.
It wasn't something cool like flight or super strength. In his terror, he accidentally killed his whole family. Well, except for dear old dad. That one was intentional.
Tenko wandered the streets alone, silently begging for someone, anyone, to help him.
Hey, bro, fuck that nigga Pops, though.
If only a hero was there to save him. But instead, the only open hand he found belonged to the devil.
All for one. The greatest supervillain in history.
He took Tenko under his wing, feeding a hatred of...
I'm not gonna lie, who has more aura? I think... Like, who in their prime has more aura? I'm not gonna lie. All For One got hella aura. But do y'all think Shigaraki got more aura than All For One? Or which way? Which way y'all think?
Everyone and everything, and grooming him to one day lead his league of villains in destroying hero society.
With that came a new name, Tomura Shigaraki, and an absolutely nightmarish quirk, Decay. It does what it says on the tin. Anything Shiggy touches with all 5 fingers turns to dust. The perfect power for someone who just wants to destroy. Pretty menacing, if not for that dorky-ass costume. I get it, hands are his thing, but come on, they just look so dumb and fake.
Oh, those aren't prosthetics. Those are real hands from his family that he killed, attached to his face, and explicitly commanded to be left there by his mentor so that he would never forget his rage.
Okay.
While his use of Decay started off relatively weak, it rapidly increased in power and range as Shigaraki came into his own.
Decay isn't even limited to whatever he's touching. Anything that touches something he's decaying also decays.
Spreading like an all-consuming miasma that can wipe out anything.
Not gonna lie, what do y'all think the best season of My Hero is? Me personally, I gotta say either 6 or 7. I think 7 had a lot of stuff going on, but like 6 was non-stop action. 7, it brings everything together though. I don't know, it's between those two for me though.
From an enormous tower to an entire city.
If decay reaches you, your only hope is to isolate the body part that is disintegrating before it gets to something vital.
After years of training with the greatest supervillain of all time, Shigaraki was finally put in charge of his own team with one mission. He must kill his master's rival, the #1 hero, All Might.
Now, who do y'all think has more aura between All For One and All Might though? I don't know. That's a hard one.
To fall flat on his face.
Shigaraki was a terrible leader, quick-tempered, short-sighted, and, well...
Cringe! Oh, he's just so cringe. He uses gamer lingo unironically. He whines like a baby when things don't go his way. He's the kind of guy who would say normie in real life, in front of normies.
But they say defeat is the greatest teacher of all. Only through struggle could Shigaraki manifest his dark conviction.
Right as All Might's new protege, Izuku Midoriya, was coming into his own as well.
These two...
And I seen a lot of niggas on Twitter, bro. I'm not gonna lie, I seen a lot of niggas on Twitter, on social media, talking shit about Deku Midoriya. But this nigga's a madman, bro. Like, a madman. He broke all the fingers on his hands twice just to prove a point at a school festival, which he didn't have to do. He didn't even want to win, he just wanted to prove a point. And they call him scary.
Rivals.
Don't even get me started on him, cause I will pause. I will dick ride Deku to death.
Inheritors of their
Till the wheels fall off. I'll just ride that nigga dick. Pause.
master's blood
Pause.
feud would push themselves past their own limitations.
Especially when All Might and All For One double KO'd each other, leaving Shigaraki to lead the League of Villains all by himself.
And with the stakes higher than ever before, Shigaraki stepped up. He
I know a lot of y'all favorite YouTubers, you know, they have YouTube Red. Not me, buddy. Not me, pal.
Captain, there are still 9 orders that
We're gonna watch these damn ads, buddy.
need your approval.
All right, I'll get to it soon.
You said
Hold on, my shit lagging? Hold on. Close this out. Hey, I'm gonna edit this out. I'm gonna edit all this out.
at the same
personally battled the monstrous Gigantomachia for a month and a half straight and conquered other villain organizations to create the Paranormal Liberation Front. Thousands of new soldiers for his personal army.
All to impress All For One's personal quack, Dr. Ujiko, who spent months upgrading Shigaraki's body to make it more like his sensei's. It might have been constant agony, but Shiggy went from Chud to Chad.
Ujiko's experimentation vastly increased Shigaraki's strength, speed, and durability, enough to match and surpass even All Might's absurd power.
Sharing All Might's power between them, Deku and Bakugo were able to punch an island-sized hole in a cloud that reached 24 miles into the sky. We've calculated that before to be nearly 80 million.
I said this when I was trying to react to this the first time. They hold Deku in this fight, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Megatons of TNT, almost as much as the meteor that wiped out the
But once again, I am biased.
dinosaurs.
And Shigaraki can now move fast enough that his body produces hypersonic shockwaves and can even catch laser beams.
And he's tough enough to survive Star and Stripes Intercontinental Ballistic Cruise Punch. Now the new name for my penis. Move over, gigantic Omega Storm. Anyway, it also made a blast so big it showed up against the curvature of the Earth.
Though he might seem invincible, when Shigaraki's body is pushed hard enough, he will evolve into a state of uncontrollable power.
So Decay became? Oh shit, more hands!
Shigaraki can spontaneously generate flesh into existence, seemingly oceans of it in an instant, whenever he wants. He can even use it as a type of armor to defend him.
This dude is such an OP villain, bro. Like, realistically speaking, like if I was in My Hero and they put me on that force that had to fight Shiggy, I'm telling them, put me somewhere else.
Himself in close
Put me on the island.
combat.
But that's nothing compared to Ujiko's greatest gift. Shigaraki wanted to be the new All For One, so what better way than the old man's quirk?
All For One's quirk, All For One, allows its user to steal and store quirks with just a touch.
Hold Hawks too. They hold him in the show too.
And All For One has hundreds of them stored up, collected over the years.
Each quirk is connected to a memory of its user's essence in the form of a spirit, a vestige.
Kinda like a piece of their soul. They exist in this kinda psychic world in Shigaraki's body and can even act as a spiritual defense should it be invaded.
And with those vestiges came quirks like super fast healing, air blasts, radio waves, flight, telekinesis, teleportation of others, and the ability to track foes.
He can even combine multiple quirks together, like in this big-ass electric Kamehameha.
However, any vestige stolen or destroyed will also remove that quirk from Shigaraki's repertoire. They're also sentient, and some can even fight for control.
Which is when the second shoe finally dropped. Because Shigaraki also got All For One's vestige, that means All For One was now in possession of a shiny new body that he'd spent the last 15 years molding for him to take over.
Shigaraki's entire existence was planned from the beginning. Why? Because All Might's previous mentor was Nana Shimura, Tanko's grandmother.
Oh, that to mess with All Might. That is...
I'm not gonna lie, that's one of the biggest plot twists. Maybe I'm just oblivious, but that, like, I didn't know that. Like, when they dropped that ball in the show, to me that was crazy. But one thing, like, me and my girlfriend have this debate all the time. Every time we bring it up, she says I'm crazy for not knowing. But was it obvious that Dabi was Endeavor's son? Like, was that obvious, or am I just like retarded? Like, oh, my bad. Or am I just like stupid or oblivious? But oblivious is the right word, because I don't think it was that obvious, honestly.
Some next level hating right there.
He manipulated Shigaraki.
But nah, that hatred was generational, bro. Like, that is up there. Like, that's sick.
Rocky's entire life, all for one purpose.
Bar? Is that a bar?
To create a soul so corrupted, it would grind away at All Might's perfect world, allowing All For One to take full control.
But All For One's possession wasn't complete, and Shiggy managed to fight his way back to the top, literally decaying his way through vestiges in the process, all to fight his rival Deku one last time.
Despite Izuku's best efforts to save him, Shigaraki was too far gone. His spirit decayed by years of venomous hatred.
And the new symbol of hope defeated the...
The ass was an angry, crying little boy he was raised to be, and not the broken, angry, crying little boy he really was.
I felt like when they said, like, I felt a spoiler coming up, that's why I skipped.
Deep inside.
For just that one moment, though, Shiggy got in Deku the only thing he'd been denied all
Spoiler?
about.
Okay.
This battle is
They
sponsored by
started saying
Robin
shit
Hood
that I
Gold.
hadn't seen
With
yet.
Robin Hood Gold, you can
Like I said, I am an anime only watcher. But I'm not gonna lie to you. Hold on. I started collecting the manga. I'm not gonna read it though until I collect it all. But I started collecting the My Hero manga. The only full manga I own is Death Note.
now enjoy the VIP.
No free promo, buddy.
100% match requires RobinHoodGold.com. Man's greatest fear has been his fellow man.
But what if this fear took on a life of its own?
What if all that negative emotion humans felt for one another spilled from their body?
And not gonna lie, I am biased. I don't like Mahito because he killed Kugisaki. I'm just saying, bro. Well, killed Kugisaki. She died young. They didn't have to do her like that, bro.
Bodies and congealed, forming over time a living being fueled by malice, which believes in nothing but the law of the jungle.
Well, then you'd have the special grade curse with a patch face, Mahito. Oh, I've had people tell me I've become a human disaster curse when I've had too many mojitos.
Mahito is one of the deadliest beings to ever afflict mankind. He's no mere mortal though, but a cursed spirit. Innumerable spirits exist, weaker or stronger depending on the amount of anxieties, jealousies, hatreds, and fears humans feel about them.
Like the fear of locusts, kinda weak. Or the fear of smallpox, getting stronger. Or the fear of fire. Oh, goodbye, Tokyo.
So it follows that mankind's fear of itself would be extremely powerful. Those negative emotions manifest as Mahito, a being composed of cursed energy.
It's basically like evil ki, Cursed energy can be used to make spirits way stronger, faster, and tougher than any normal human, and it's invisible, making curses like Mahito impossible for the untrained eye to see. Only a life or death situation can galvanize a normal person to see a cursed spirit.
That also makes cursed spirits virtually immune to physical damage. They may be physically present in space, but can only be harmed by attacks that embody spirit matter like cursed energy.
Which makes curses insanely hard to get rid of, like ghosts, cockroaches, or my ex. That's why you need a jujutsu sorcerer to come in and kaizen the shit out of them. They call it exorcism, but I like the way I said it better.
Curses and sorcerers have battled each other for millennia, waging an endless war over the fate of humanity. Almost exclusively in Japan, though, for some reason.
But Mahito was special. You see, most curses are basically dumb animals, but Mahito has so much cursed energy that it...
Did they ever explain why Japan was like was the one that had mostly curses or whatever? Did they ever explain that? Did I miss it or something?
gave him sentience.
So he was recruited by Kenjaku alongside other special grade disaster curses to wreak havoc upon the world. In fact, they made Mahito their leader.
And even more frightening than intelligence and bloodlust, Mahito possessed philosophy.
Perhaps informed by the tragic meaninglessness of interhuman conflict, Mahito is an existential nihilist, believing in nothing but his own will to power. It's a dog-eat-dog world, and Mahito is the wolf.
Which also makes him kind of a goofball. If nothing matters, why not have fun with the slaughter? Really get your steps in.
Iconic characters from hit series gather beyond their worlds. Union Arena.
Fuck.
He loves to dig
Not getting YouTube Red, so don't ask.
around and toy with your emotions like a cartoon character before slitting your throat.
An appropriate analogy considering his curse technique, idol transfiguration.
Using his cursed energy, Mahito can control anyone's soul with just a touch, including his own. In fact, he's so good at manipulating his own soul that you can't even kill the bastard without directly targeting it.
In Jujutsu Kaisen, the soul and the body share an immutable connection. Whatever happens to the former affects the latter.
This lets Mahito squash, stretch, and shape-shift his body into literally anything he wants, like Play-Doh. He can turn his limbs into blades or clubs, grow wings like a bird or fins like a fish, reform his body around injuries,
Not gonna lie, also really OP power. I'm not even gonna front. Like, I'd be scared to fight this nigga too. I'm not gonna lie, I'd probably be more so scared of fighting Mahito. Ooh. Damn. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I think I'd be more scared of fighting Mahito versus Shigaraki though, just because all he has to do is touch you. Realistically speaking, like if say I'm in their verses, at least I have a quirk, to fight back with. Like even if it's a terrible quirk, more than likely I'm gonna have a quirk, so I can at least hold Shiggy off for like 10 seconds, or maybe if that. But Mahito, I'm not gonna lie, all he has to do is touch me and I'm finished. All he has to do is touch me and I'm like mincemeat. You know what I'm saying?
or even create clones.
Curse users are naturally unharmed by their own ability. Should he touch a human, though, his alterations to their body are instantly fatal.
And since he's attacking your soul, those physical wounds are gonna be impossible to heal.
Even if his alteration isn't directly fatal, the human body won't last more than a few moments in a transfigured state.
All that with one touch! God, I thought herpes was bad.
Fuck that.
In a transfigured state.
All that with one...
I just remember why I don't like this nigga, dog. Fucking writers. Why? Why did he have to kill her? She didn't have to die. She was a badass. I'm not gonna lie, like, she's, to me, recently, one thing that has been, like, talked about in the manga any manga community is that writers don't know how to write female characters. I think she was a very well written female character. Like, Like, you know what I'm saying? She was a badass, and then they killed her in season two. Killed her in season two, and I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy that.
Touch! God, I thought herpes was bad.
His powers mean Mahito treats humans as effectively disposable dolls that he can gleefully experiment on. The more casualties, the better, especially if he gets to break your spirit first and watch you suffer.
Even more twisted is when he combines two transfigured humans together for soul multiplicity, essentially a giant torrent of body horror flesh that he repels at an opponent. Ugh.
Mahito is unbelievably creative with his application of idol transfiguration, and despite being a newborn curse, consistently keeps experienced sorcerers on the back foot.
It helps that he's a quick study who's picked up a number of different curse techniques, like the Black Flash.
By applying cursed energy within 1 microsecond of an impact with an enemy,
Would y'all rather be able to do a black flat, like aesthetic wise, not power wise? Because obviously we know which one is stronger. Hopefully we know. But would y'all rather be able to do a black flash, like at will, or be able to do a 100% Detroit smash without hurting yourself?
space itself will distort, exponentially amplifying its force by a factor of 2.5.
Not only does this hurt like a mother, it restores your curse technique and gets you fully in the zone.
And would require reflexes moving nearly 1,000 times the speed of sound. It's no surprise then that Mahito also unlocked the pinnacle of sorcerer techniques, the Domain Expansion.
Oh shit! More hands! A domain is like a barrier of cursed energy, but if you're caught inside, Mahito can use idol transfiguration instantly without even needing to touch you.
It's called the self-embodiment of perfection, the ultimate expression of Mahito's absolute control over his victim's body and soul.
Not gonna lie, I think self-embodiment of perfection is a top 3 domain in JJK though. I will give him that.
The only time it ever failed was against the student sorcerer and Mahito's archenemy, Yuji Itadori.
Because not only was Yuji a barf-inducing goody little two-shoes who believed in the inalienable rights of all living things, blah, 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 he
I was so hyped when Yuji put hands on that nigga, dog. I was so hyped.
also had a curse inside of him,
The king of curses, Sukuna.
which meant Mahito's ability affected both souls in Yuji's body. Sukuna didn't like that. No surprise, and kicked Mahito's ass, forcing Patchface to fight with a handicap whenever facing his pink-haired menace.
Yuji's belief in the value of human life flew directly in the face of the world that Mahito knew to be cruel and meaningless. So he made it his mission to crush Yuji's spirit before killing him, murdering his friends, defiling their corpses, and brutally battering him before going in for the kill.
And he's got the strength to do it. Mahito's one of the most powerful curses in the world, and his growth is exponential.
Fellow disaster curse Jogo was able to summon a massive meteor capable of reducing the city of Shibuya to ash.
That'd take an energy of over 800 kilotons of TNT.
And Mahito can take as good as he can give, especially when, in the throes of struggle against Yuji, he evolved, unlocking a vastly more powerful form, the instant body of distorted killing.
Complete with armored exoskeleton and arm blades, this was a taste of the almighty curse Mahito was growing into, a true blight on all mankind.
It wouldn't last. In a bitter battle of resolve, Yuji won out. In a dog-eat-dog world, there was now a bigger wolf.
So he tucked tail and ran away like a big...
I'm not gonna lie, this is like a top 5 aura moment. This was like a top 5 aura moment in anime within the last year or so, or year. This came out in 2023. Within the last few years, you all know who's number 1. Drip Sung Hunter Drip Sung Woo.
bitch. And what do you know? Life suddenly became a whole lot more meaningful the second it looked like it was about to end.
All that gleeful nihilism, just a bitter hypocrisy in the end.
For him, maybe. But Mahito found a convert in his archenemy. After a battle that wiped out thousands of innocent people, Yuji's youthful spirit was gone. The only thing left that mattered was exorcising this curse.
In a way, that was Mahito's final victory, the destruction of another human being's soul. He may not have been around to see it, but the curse Mahito inflicted on the world would bring it to its knees. Hey, do you see that join button? Yeah, that one. That's your ticket to being a Death Battle champion. As a champion, you get all sorts of exclusive death. The support helps us make...
No free promo, brother.
So 10 years ago, I bet my
Love you guys, though.
life savings on oatmeal. I mean, people definitely told me I was crazy.
Not that they need the free promo from me. But yeah.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
I'd heard of a powerful villain stalking these parts. My organization is going to tear this putrid world down around us. We could use a freak of your talents.
Little old me. Do I want to be king of the social rejects? How about I bring him your head instead?
Fine by me. Let's call this your audition, Sickum.
Shit should have ended right there. That should have been in the fight. But like I said, they're gonna drag it on. But we don't know. We know the truth. Shit should have ended right there.
Did you actually just say that? God, how lame!
Not gonna lie, this is really good though. They did a good job on this. This is really good.
Audition over. Did I get the part? Decay! What a rush! That all you got?
Domain expansion. I can read your soul. You're just a scared little boy whose daddy is mean and wants to make it everyone else's problem. Grow up.
Look at the fucking aura on this guy. Great villain, just aura. You can't help but respect it. Sitting on the throne like Sukuna? Come on, dude.
Hands off my masterpiece. I felt your soul too. You only hate humanity because you were born that way.
Look at his ass running away like a little bitch.
Totally random. I hate them for a reason. You grow up.
Look at the fucking aura on this guy. I'm not gonna lie, bro. As I expected. But they're gonna, like I said, they drag it out, you know, for the sake of the video. I get it. But this is exactly how we expected it. Shiggy is just a top whatever villain. Like I think he's a top 3 villain in anime history. I'm dick riding, my bad. Let me chill out. But I think so.
What did I say, Wiz? Like a bitch.
With their complex power sets, this match was a puzzle to figure out, which is why we're breaking it down to 3 categories: physical stats, survivability, and their powers.
But first, let's address one thing. Could Shigaraki even see Mahito? He's an invisible curse after all.
Cursed energy and quirks are notably different, and Shigaraki wouldn't be able to see curses normally. However, even regular humans can spontaneously develop the ability to see curses in life and death scenarios. And with the Search quirk, Shigaraki would have had no problem tracking it.
So seeing Mahito wouldn't have been an issue. With that out of the way, we can jump into their stats.
This was no contest. Despite the disaster curses being able to destroy entire cities with their cursed energy, Shigaraki scaling to Deku and Bakugo meant he was calculably millions of times stronger.
He was faster too, considering he could react to light beams, while Mahito's Black Flash capped out at nearly 1,000 times the speed of sound. Nothing to scoff at, but Shiggy was thousands of times faster. Shigaraki takes stats.
But survivability was a little trickier to figure out.
Yep, in terms of raw durability, Shigaraki was a lot tougher, and his ability to generate new flesh meant that he could heal any wounds he might receive super easy.
However, Mahito is a curse, and is immune to the kind of overwhelming physical damage Shigaraki could dish out. Not only that, Mahito's regenerative ability via idle transfiguration meant that he'd come back from anything short of spiritual damage.
Considering Mahito's unique curse body, he should actually get the edge in survivability.
Which presents a crucial question. Could Shigaraki even kill a curse like Mahito in the first place?
Or would Mahito's unkillability give him the time he needed to eventually put Shiggy down with idle transfiguration?
It all comes down to their powers.
Shigaraki had a lot more variety with all of the crazy quirks All For One had collected over all the years, but none that we know of could properly kill a curse. That didn't mean idle transfiguration was a surefire bet either, though.
Of all things, Shigaraki's vestiges served as a spiritual shield from the effects of idle transfiguration. The fact that Mahito could not avoid targeting Sukuna while attacking Yuji meant that he couldn't target specific souls inside a person.
And Shiggy has hundreds of soul-like entities inside of him. Sure, each one down means he loses a quirk, but that's more than enough time to land a single hit with Decay, especially considering how much faster Shiggy is.
And Mahito has no way to defend against Shigaraki's primary quirk. Decay has affected spiritual beings in the past. Again, vestiges. In fact, he was able to damage Deku's vestige and have that damage transferred to the Deku in the real world.
Mahito may be made of spirit energy, but he still has a physical form. In fact, sorcerers that couldn't naturally target the soul were able to fight him on even footing. No reason to think Shiggy wouldn't decay him like everyone else.
Giving Shigaraki the third and final edge. It was a unique duel to the death, but Shigaraki's overwhelming might, unstoppable powers, and deadly decay spelled the end for the disaster curse.
Nothing else to say. You really gotta hand it to Shigaraki.
The winner is Tomura Shigaraki.
Next time on Death Battle.
Nah, that was good. Shout out to the guys over at Death Battle. This went exactly how I expected it to go. My thoughts. I think I could see both sides because a lot of people don't think vestiges and souls are the same thing. But I'm on the other end of that. I think a vestige is a soul. I think a vestige is a piece of someone's soul because like even when All Might was alive. That's why Deku could feel All Might fighting All for One, cause you know their souls, their souls are tied because they share the same quirk now, you know. And then also when Deku was in the hospital after they fought Shigaraki when he had awakened, that's why All Might can feel the conversation between the two of them, you know. So I genuinely think that I think like I said, I can see both sides. I can see both sides. I can see people saying, "Well, we vestiges in the soul," but I think at the end of the day, like they said, Mahito does have a physical form. You know what I'm saying? Like if Mahito, like I said, Mahito does have a physical form, like they said. Not every punch Yuji was throwing, like in like you know, not every punch Yuji was throwing had cursed energy behind it. That was just him, just straight up beating his ass. And I think a lot of people forget that, like even with domains, you could break a domain with enough physical force. That's why Yuji was able to, you know, break Mahito's domain and make him touch Sukuna's soul and everything like that. So I think when it comes down to it, I think that that battle was accurate. I think a lot of JJK fans don't understand that you know, outside their own verse, not necessarily they're weak, but I don't think a lot of the abilities, you know, would, you know, do much. You know, I think the only abilities that would probably have a true effect outside of that verse is, you know, curse speech, and you know, of course, I think really strong physical attacks. You know, Black Flash, obviously, and that's not even technically a curse technique, but you know, Black Flash, Divergent Fist, stuff like that, and then you know, you have of course Gojo, curse speech, stuff like that. You know, so I think, like I said, this went as I expected. Um, good video, very good video. Mahito, good character, still a bitch. Shigaraki, great character. Um, Told a nigga to grow up. He had your ass. But yeah, good video. Good video. If you're watching this on YouTube, I love y'all. I'll see y'all in the next video. Go watch my last video. And like I said, I love y'all. I will see y'all in the next one.